Here's Jason Martinez and Brian Smith.
That's right. It is Flyers post-game. Brian Smith, Jason Martinez at our scattered studio locations as the Flyers are on the road, wrapping up this home-and-home with the Columbus Blue Jackets. 4-1 win. It's about a textbook win as you'll get that they've seen pretty much all this season since mid-November probably.
Yeah, this is the kind of game that they wanted things to go like this all season. I mean, you come into a road barn like this, you get down early, but you're able to bounce back. You get 3 solid goals in the second period, and you're able to hold on in the third. I mean, that's how good teams play. And so, it's nice to see them step into Columbus tonight on a night that's pretty emotional for Cam Atkinson and come out of there with a win for him, especially after dropping one to pretty much the same team on Tuesday. This is a prime opportunity for Columbus to come out of that game on Tuesday and take a lot of momentum. Say, hey, these guys threw everything they had at us, and we were able to win in their barn, and now we're coming back to our place. We should be able to wrap it up again. But a very solid night all around for the Flyers. Really, I mean, to be honest with you, it's just as solid to me as Tuesday night was. It's just tonight they got the right outcome.
It's funny. This game made me think of something a coach said to a team that I was on years ago. The guy's name was Peter Jarabak. He was a maniac. And I think I was a first-year Bantam at the time. And we were playing for a team called Mid-Atlantic Dynamo. And we came back after like a game like this, a 4-1 game, into the room. And he said, why they got nothing? Because bleep, 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 we gave them nothing. That's what the Flyers did in this game after that shorthanded goal.
Go out. Don't just go out there and think you want it. Go out there and bleep and want it, right?
Yeah. And I love that. Like, why they got nothing beyond that is because we gave them nothing.
Right. Yeah.
And exactly. You like that more because you determined your fate and what they could do.
Yep. You play a tight game. You play what they call a quintessential road game, and ideally, you're not going to give up much to the opponent, and that's kind of the way things went here for Philadelphia tonight. They again did, and again, to me, it was almost a freak play that led to the shorthanded goal. It was something that, you don't see very often just with the way the puck progressed up the ice. But, the Flyers, after that first period where they had to kill off the 2 power plays, they dominated possession of the puck the rest of the way. I think it was 53-47 after that first period, and it ends up 53-47 Flyers side after the game. So, again, they it's that old adage that Chuck Fletcher's been putting out the last couple of years is that, when you defend less, you are more successful, and Flyers didn't have to defend a ton in this game, and it's translated into a couple of points for them here.
Yeah. It's not hard to figure out this result, because you look at it and you look where the Flyers' scoring chances in the game came from, the quality of opportunities, how pronounced they were in their favor. Look, they got good goaltending when they needed it, and that's part of it. Sometimes you don't need a ton of it. They didn't need a ton of it in this game from Martin Jones, although I think I've just been so impressed with him really all season. And, the way he's kind of turned his, not only the season around, but his career at this point in it. And I'm just sending you a screenshot right now of where the Flyers scoring chances came from as opposed to the Blue Jackets scoring chances. And it's not hard to figure out. And then if I go back a couple of days to Tuesday and I look at that game as well, look, their goalie had to be the best player to step foot on the ice that night on Tuesday for them to come away with that 4-2 win. And the Flyers in that game had a much higher expected goals rate than Columbus did. They did again tonight, and it played true to form. Sometimes that's the effect the goalie can have, though. He can have that effect where you can have way more dangerous chances and not win the game. Tonight, that wasn't the case. Kind of what we said in the pregame show, to be honest with you, Bri, where we said, hey, if they can just not get an all-world goaltending performance from Merzlikins tonight, then they got a real good chance to win this, and they did.
Yeah, and that's what happened. Owen Tippett's goal, again, it's credit to him that he was able to, we talked about the quick release on the shot and all that, but that goal did kind of go through Merzlikins. It went under his arm, between his arm and his leg, and that doesn't happen last night when he's playing the way he was last night. The TK goal at the end that kind of iced it. That probably didn't get through him last night. Just little things like that, and that's the closest difference sometimes between winning and losing is whether or not you're getting bounces like that, getting goals like that, and it's another night to me of promising displays from the young players, from Owen Tippett, Noah Cates. Just good games overall from those guys. I meant to mention earlier before we ran out of time that Bobby Brink set up the game-winning goal tonight in the semifinal for Denver in overtime.
Wow.
Denver is headed to the final. I think it's on Saturday, right?
They get Michigan too, right?
They beat Michigan and they get one of the Minnesotas, either the University or the Mankato, I believe it is, and they'll have a chance to play for national championship. So the Flyers are going to have to wait just a couple days longer for him. But you toss him in here. Ronnie Addard, 15:54 of ice time tonight. 4 shot attempts, a hit in this game. Just solid defensively. And sometimes you're going to notice a defenseman for good reasons, and sometimes you're going to not notice a defenseman at all. And those are two good things. When you notice them because of bad things, then you get a little squirrely. But this is
like the offensive lineman.
Yeah, this is one of those nights where he just was out there and he did his job, and did not draw a ton of attention to himself. And so another solid night for him as well.
Well, let's get to the BetRivers.com highlight reel. As you mentioned, the Blue Jackets opened the scoring shorthanded in the first period. Eric Robinson picked up his 9th to give Columbus their only goal of this game. But let's pick it up in the second. 8 minutes in, here's how the Flyers get it tied from an unlikely source. His first goal is a Flyer. How about an unassisted one to boot from Kevin Connaughton at the 8-minute mark to tie it at 1?
On the right side, Danforth had to take it away, and the Flyers come the other way. In comes Connaughton with a shot. He scores! Kevin Connaughton wires one over the glove of Merzlikins. His first goal in a Flyer uniform. It's his first goal in 57 games, and Kevin Connaughton ties the score at 1.
Wow, great play to stand up the blue line, defend it, then take it the other way, and with Kevin Hayes driving the net to kind of keep that defender on as he decides, okay, giving me enough space. I'm down by the circle, by the dot now. Let's fire her home. And that's exactly what he does. And the Flyers take the lead at 12:36 of the second period. This turns out to be the game winner. We didn't know it at the time, but it is when Owen Tippett picks up his 8th of the season.
Now Hayes off the bench, cuts across the Columbus line. Dish back to him in the left corner, trying to protect the puck there. Jake Bean is on him. Played it to the line, but there's nobody there. And it comes out to center. Sanheim off the bench. He'll wheel it back in. And the Jackets mishandle it there. It went in front of the shot. They score. Owen Tippett pounced on it, and he finally gets one to go. His 8th goal of the year, second as a Flyer, and Owen Tippett makes it a 2-1 Flyers lead.
Yeah, Tippett, no waiting on that puck. It gets to his stick. It's off his stick within a second, Brian. That's what we like, because that's what a goal scorer does. Gets the puck off his twig.
Yeah, it's again a bit of a intangible, if you will. It's something that doesn't show up in the stats or anything like that in terms of how fast a shot gets off or but it's something the Flyers have not had really in a while. And the Flyers were looking at Wade Allison to potentially provide that for them before Owen Tippett came along. Allison is now battling, I believe, another bump or bruise or something like that. He's out of the lineup in Lehigh Valley. So I guess the next best step was to clone him. So that's kind of what it looks like.
No kidding. Doppelganger.
These guys are separated at birth, first of all, but he is playing a lot like what the Flyers are hoping Wade Allison is going to get to at the NHL level. Just with very, very dangerous offensive capabilities, and a lot of it from the sides, like the half walls and things like that. Just the not dangerous right down Broadway like a lot of NHL players are, but the ability to score from anywhere, and that's a little bit of what you saw tonight.
Yeah, and the thing is with Owen Tippett too, just going to the right place on the ice too. If you got to get to that spot, and when the puck gets to you in that spot, get it off quick, and he does exactly that. Hayes picks up an assist, as does Travis Sanheim. The Flyers weren't done in the second period, the period that's undone them so many times this season. At 16:41, they gain the dreaded worst lead in hockey, a 2-goal lead when Noah Cates, how about his second as an NHLer?
Back in behind the Philadelphia goal and picked off by Owen Tippett. Tippett into the middle at center ice, gave it up. Kevin Hayes trying to split the defense and just knocked off of his stick. Coming late, here's a shot by Provorov, and that tipped wide, then thrown to the net, and they score. At the side of the goal, it's picked up by Noah Cates, and Cates chips it in. If it's Noah Cates, it's going to be his second in the NHL. The Flyers take the 3-1 lead.
Yeah, how about that goal? Goes to the right spot once again. And Kevin Hayes, another apple here. Provorov gets one as well. Flyers up 3-1. They head to the third period. And, so many times this season, they've given it back. They found a way to make a game close or find a way to get it tied or find a way to lose it, frankly. Far too many times. But here at 16:55, the only goal of the final stanza comes off the stick of Travis Konechny, his 13th.
2 road wins in their last 18 away from Wells Fargo Center. Flyers have a 2-goal lead. Sanheim's shot was blocked. The loose puck picked up by Konechny. Konechny threw it on goal. They scored. Travis Konechny sneaks it through. That puck was in. The referee's got his hands in the air. I'm guaranteeing you, when they look at this, they're going to see that was in. And Konechny should get his 13th goal of the season.
It is in, and TK will take it. His 13th, JVR and Morgan Frost get the assist, and that's your final. 4-1 Flyers get the win over the Columbus Blue Jackets. Let's wrap up our radio audience. We'll stay around on the stream and Flyers 24/7. Let's thank Ryan Shuttleworth. Great job back at the station. Also, Pancake on the engineering of all the highlights you heard just there. And for Tim Saunders and Steve Coates, Brian Smith, I'm Jason Martinez. You've been listening to Philadelphia Flyers Hockey on the BetRivers.com Flyers Broadcast Network. Good night, everybody.
This has been
an
exclusive presentation
Brian.
of
Talk to you soon.
Philadelphia Flyers Hockey.
All right. Woo, daddy. Nothing wrong with that. Not a thing wrong with that.
All right, I can hear you now. I don't know what you said in the last 20 seconds.
I was just talking to myself.
I had to switch my headphones around a little bit.
Yeah. You get a goal from Tippett. You get a goal from Cates. Get a goal from TK. A couple apples for Kevin Hayes. I don't think there's anything really to complain about tonight. I don't know what to do.
Yeah, it's weird. It's like, where is the where's the bad stuff? Might have taken place. I don't know.
Where's the blown lead or any of that stuff? I guess, you can complain about a shorthanded goal, but geez.
I have some useless knowledge for you that we can pass along.
Oh, I love it.
So, Timmy mentioned Kevin Connaughton scored. He has not scored in 3 years and 2 months since his last goal, February of 2019. Actually, the second Flyer this year to score 3 years apart. Nick Seeler's goal in February was exactly 3 years after his previous goal, also February of 19. But there's a whole lot of guys that have done stuff like this before, 3, 4, and even 5 years. But the record for a Flyer scoring a goal, longest distance since his previous goal, Larry Zajdel, in the first year, New Year's Eve in 1967. This was a strange game. They were in L.A. Wayne Hicks actually scored the first goal, and for him, he snapped a drought of about 4 years and 9 months between goals. But Larry Zajdel, he scored later that night. It was his first NHL goal in 14 years.
Jeez.
So this guy, he played in Chicago in 1953, 1954. Then he was out of the NHL. He bounced around a little bit. He played 9 years in Hershey, far before they had anything to do with the Flyers. And he also played in the Western Hockey League and a couple other places. And then he comes back in the expansion draft. Flyers pick him up. And he gets that goal in the first year after expansion. So 14 years between goals for Larry Zajdel. That is the longest. Everybody, it's a little more measured after that. Like Al Hill scored just shy of 6 years apart. Marty Murray, 6 years apart.
Wow, I remember Marty Murray.
there's a few other guys here. Mark Gregg is on this list. He scored almost 4 years apart. So lots of guys with 3, 4, 5 years in between goals. But that 14 years takes the cake for Larry Zaidel.
Did Hilly open up his career with a 5-point game? I want to say his first.
Yes, that is some sort of record as well. Most points in the NHL debut.
Jeez,
I think he had 2 goals and 3 assists in that contest. Yeah,
I think he had a fight in the game too. Didn't he have the Gordie Howe
hat
trick?
Most likely, yeah.
Yeah, good on him.
I was looking up. I was looking up Larry Zaidel, and his Wikipedia page says Larry was known as one of the most violent players in NHL history.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Where the Flyers brought him in at that juncture, right?
Yeah,
pre-Broad Street Bullies.
Yep, no doubt. That's crazy.
So good on Kevin Connaughton tonight.
Yeah. What a nice play it was.
Just
deny the blue line, go the other way. See, he had the opportunity for the shot. Just take it, and he does.
Yep,
it's the right thing to do.
Absolutely, and again, we've seen. I mean, not that you're going to use him as a forward or anything like that, but you've seen snippets of that ability there, and he's playing for a job too. It's the job he's playing for may only be as a 7th defenseman or an AHL veteran for a call up, something like that, just depth. But stuff like that, we'll get him a look.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, good closeout for the Flyers though in this one. Just a good closeout.
Yeah, it's everybody. We still all get nervous going into the third period of the lead, don't we?
Oh, big time.
It's almost a surprise when they're able to close it out. But this is again, we keep talking about little nuggets that these guys pick up, experience and stuff like that. Every time you close a game like this out, you learn what it takes to close a game like this out.
That's why these games have importance to them, because you got to learn these things. This is a different group, right? Like Noah Cates is only played, I think this is his 5th NHL game, I want to say.
Yeah, something like that.
Owen Tippett doesn't have a ton of NHL experience. Adder doesn't have a ton. Cam York doesn't have a ton. There's a lot of guys in there that they're going to be dependent on going forward at some point at the NHL level. If it's not next year out of camp, and for some of those it might be. But you got to start learning these things, and why not do it when the result of learning it, if you don't do it properly, it isn't a loss in the standings when you need points.
And to be honest with you, when you step out on the ice in that scenario, there's a lot more pressure on you to
Big
do
time.
it. To be able to start with less pressure the first time you do it, that's a good place to be.
Yeah, that's a good point. Forever I was trying to answer this question on Flyers Daily so many times, and I was trying to figure out they need. I think I said it on here a lot too. They need to find positives in this negative of a season. And the positives are what we're seeing now with getting these young guys in. Like Cam York, I think, made a mistake on that. It wasn't like the most egregious, like crazy, awful play or anything.
Right.
It wasn't the right play. But you look at it and you look at Adder in his first game, it was a -4, ended up getting an assist the other night. And Cates has got 2 goals already. And being able to come in and assimilate in a non-pressure environment can only help, so that you learn these things now. And then when you get under pressure, it's not the first time you're faced with this kind of detrimental, periods in the game. And you can attack it from a different mindset of having been there, done that, made the mistake, not going to make the mistake again. I think that's important. And you know what? Maybe I couldn't answer that question back when I kept pondering it, Bride, because these guys weren't here at that time. And these guys weren't here, certainly, and making some of the contributions that these players are making.
Yeah, and again, the Cam York play, to me, it's like it's invaluable that you went through that, because now he's going to go back and look at it and realize that that was a really strange play, just in terms of how you're making that read, because you think the puck is where it is and it's not, and then it just shows you how quickly things can change in this game. There's things that you have not seen before, and that's where it comes down to development for these young guys. I mean, you go through your whole hockey career again, with different goals in mind. Some guys, their goals are to get a scholarship, and then your goal might be to turn pro, and you might be able to get drafted and then make the NHL. But what you got to remember is, like, when you get drafted, that you've hit that goal, but now you got to set another goal, because if you don't keep developing, you're just going to stop at getting drafted. You may not get to the NHL, and then once you get to the NHL, you may not stay there. So these guys, what they have to do is continue to develop their games and continue to approach it the way they've been doing it their whole lives, in terms of getting better as hockey players, and that this is part of that overall process.
Yeah. So 11 games left on the season. They've played 71. By the way, it's the most games they've played since the 2018-19 season, in the regular season at least. They played 69 games in the 19-20. They played 56 last year. They've got 71 under their belt this year, and they'll be back at it Saturday. So 11 games left, 5 home, 6 road, and they'll be back at it Saturday night for Lou Nolan night at Wells Fargo. I would tell people, like, this is a good time. There's good seats available, obviously, when the team has had this kind of season. But come down and see some of these young players in person. Come down and see that explosiveness of Owen Tippett in person.
Absolutely. It's a great opportunity to see what the future of this team could be, and I think you're going to be excited by it when you see it. You want to feel old for a second?
I already do. I just turned 50 last week. I don't need any help. But yeah, to answer your question,
I think did I share my screen? Can you see what's on?
Let me see.
Do you see me, or do you see a tweet?
There you go. Let me get rid of the overlay.
I don't like this one bit.
He was on the cover of PlayStation when I was growing up.
That was like 8 years ago. Stop it.
Yeah. Some of these kids 8 years ago were 12 years old, though.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's crazy.
For the 8 of you listening on Flyers Radio 24/7, it's a tweet from who is it? Oliver Lundell? Is that his name? Yeah, Oliver Lundell from Florida Panthers saying, "It's been awesome getting to learn from a guy like Giroux. He was on the cover of NHL on PlayStation when I was growing up."
That's awesome.
Stop it.
Oh, that's great. That's classic.
So yeah, and Lou Nolan night will be a good night too. That'll be.
I spoke to Lou today.
There's a lot of great stuff planned. I think everybody relates to Lou. For a lot of folks, he's one of the constants in Flyers over the years. The voice has not changed, with the exception of just a handful of games here and there when he's been under the weather. It's been the same guy. So it's going to be a great opportunity to honor him and give him a nice little night that he deserves. Yeah,
it'll be fun. He'll be featured on tomorrow's Flyers Daily as well. I taped a conversation with Louis earlier today, and just a classy dude. I love him.
Running the media junket this week, that's for sure.
Oh, yeah. He loves it, though. All the players will be wearing that Nolan jersey and warm up. That's a cool thing.
Yeah, that'll be neat. That'll be fun. And, they got some gifts planned for him. And, there's a little special treat that I don't know if he even knows about it yet. We'll see. But
you want to divulge it here, what it is?
It's going to be a fun night. Well, he gets to go home. We'll put it that way.
All right. I know he told me he listens to the post-game show. We're not on the air right now on the radio.
Pre-COVID home.
Okay.
So,
all right. Well, let's wrap it up. I'm going to get down to business here on Flyers Daily and figure out how to do an episode feeling happy.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a momentum here. And, it's again, it's all part of the process, right?
Absolutely.
Unfortunately, what the Flyers are in now is the process. So
oh, geez.
Don't see how it goes.
Send me off on a tangent on the episode. If I do that. All right. Thanks, everybody, for listening. Thanks for watching. We'll join you Saturday for Flyers Ducks at Wells Fargo. So have a great night.